How long I gotta live in Tennessee to get me one of them accents?
What's he unboxing? What'd it be? Well, I don't know. Shut up and see.
Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you know me, and you should by now, I love Earthling. I just smacked the microphone. I love me some Earthling publications. They're in my top 6. Yes, I added Curious King to the top 5, so now it's the top 6. And Earthling is one of those publishers who publishes authors I've never read, but once I read, I like. So, uh, Paul Miller's track record of turning me on to new authors is pretty much up there with Paul Suntup's track record. I usually love what Paul Miller chooses to publish. And in this case, I bought this book based entirely on that faith. But also because my boy Mitch loves him some Brian Evenson. Evenson! And he did this. He did Brother's Keeper, which is a chapbook by Brian Evenson. And I did get to read it, so I got the arc. The thing is, I bought Altman's Tongue based on Mitch and Paul's recommendation. So that was already secured and buttoned up, and it sold out. But, here I am biting my fingernails, as you do when you don't know the author and you paid for that book and now it's on its way. You got to love it. You have to. In the meantime, Rapture came out with this chapbook. While the arc so far, this actual chapbook hasn't landed yet. And I got to read Brian Evenson, so now I am even more stoked for this book, Altman's Tongue, because this was really great storytelling magic. And that's funny because a lot of Rapture and Earthling, they're kind of doing a square dance, do-si-do. They're doing some of the same authors. You got Brian Evenson, Tyler Jones. Who else? TBD, am I right? So, anyway, that's all preface to get to the main show. And of course, Dragon Lord comes down out of the Tennessee hills to open it up and get me my book. This is sold out, like I said. There were only 235 copies available. It is signed by Brian Evenson and John Langan, who I interviewed on my channel for the Suntup edition of Blackwater. He did the intro on that and signed. So I talked to him on this channel. Great interview. I didn't realize who I was talking to when I talked to him, which is a good thing. You want to go into these things not feeling like you're not worthy, even though I am. I'm always unworthy. But he was amazing, and he's a titan in horror fiction. And I still have to read one of his works. I got to read The Fisherman. I got to read it. So here we go. The peanuts and the bubbles. The peanuts and the bubbles. Now, John Langan provided a brand new intro for this edition, and Brian Evenson wrote a new afterword and some story notes totaling like 10K extra words. Yes. Oh, and by the way, this is the 30th anniversary edition. So Altman's Tongue was previously released, which is sort of rare for Earthling to do that. Of course, Earthling has done it with Weave World and some Barker titles, Hellbound Heart, and then the modern classics series. You got Inspection, Come With Me, Little Heaven. So Earthling does do reprints, mostly first editions, but reprint limited editions. And in this case, this is one of them. Brian Evenson, Altman's Tongue. Typical, beautiful Earthling stuff. Got cloth boards. I'm gonna pop off with those cloth boards, foil stamps, foil stampage. Stampage? Plain end papers. And when I say plain, they're just not illustrated, but they're really cool. There's some texture there. The SIG sheets. So this, I got copy 178, signed by Brian Evenson and John Langan there. I've avoided seeing any of the art to date. And that art is by Chris Nurse, who also did Serafina incidentally, another incredibly awesome Earthling edition. So here is the TOC. You can pause that if you want to look at the stories. You can pause it. You can pause at any point when I'm making a weird face or whatever. The book upstairs unread, an introduction. The book upstairs unread. So this is the new intro, perhaps, with new notes. The Father Unblinking. That's the first story. So again, I have not read any of this. I am eager to do so with the collection. I can dip in as I want, which is what I do. So, and that's dangerous. Sometimes I dip into a collection, and if I don't just go all the way through it, it can go back on my shelf. I did that with a Malfi collection. We should have left well enough alone, right? Is that the name of the collection? I dipped out, and I never dipped back in because then I went on to a novel, and then that TBR. It's a train that rolls. So I will, and it's not a thick collection, man. You could do it. You could do it. And if it's anything like Brothers Keeper, that compulsive, what the hell is going on here? Read. I'm very excited, and I probably won't be able to pull away. This is shipping. As always, I hate to push a book in front of you that you cannot buy. I don't like that. I do like showing you what it looks like. So if you are of a mind to get on the secondary and you see it and you want to see what it might look like and how it might smell, it smells delicious, then that's what I'm here for. But I can't promote it for you to get it unless you check out Bad Moon Books, or you go over to Camelot, Kathmandu. You look around, poke around on the secondary to the usual suspects, and you might be able to find it. I think Levidian actually had some. Don't know if he still does, but it was a very, very small print run, 235. So if you can't find it, then I do recommend checking out Rapture and getting Brothers Keeper to get some Evenson, and you can see what I'm happy about. Great storytelling. I'm always here for that. Great stories. So that's all I have for right now. Thank you for joining me this time. Hope to see you again next time. In the meantime, stay frosty.